Welcome back to LittleLee and Rose. My name is Summer Noel, and today we're going to do lizard skin. This is a fun one. It's relatively easy. When I say relative, I guess it depends on where you're at in your epoxy journey. This one's a fun one to do. It doesn't take a lot of supplies. We have a piece of parchment paper down, then we have a piece of Glad press and seal. Press and seal is very important. You have to use press and seal. If you don't use press and seal, you will not get the outcome that you're looking for. So Glad press and seal is very important on this one, specifically, because it gives you the texture that you need. So I've just got this cup prepped. I've got two prepped. It's already been sanded, spray painted. I just kind of did bursts of browns and greens and different greensy, brownsy, kind of almost like camo colors. I just have it holding here with my silicone stir sticks, but that's just to hold it in frame for you guys. You don't even need those right now. What we're going to be using is kind of colors of lizards. We've got limeade, which is a bright green. That's going to be mixing with espresso brown and rust colored brown and black. Sorry guys, I'm still getting a little bug that my little germ monkeys brought in. So we're going to be working with those four colors. And so we can move the cup off to the side and move this out of here. This is going to be our canvas for this. We're going to be over rolling it, which is kind of fun. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your inks. Ooh, with the gloves on, these are harder to open. You want to take your inks and just kind of dot them down, squirt them around. I know that I'm going to have extra over here, so I'm not really even going to worry about that. Just kind of get the color all over. I know that I want brown and green to be my two main colors. So that's what we're focusing on. It's going to be the limeade and the espresso. But they're all going to kind of mush together, plus the base color of this one's going to look real dark, but it's going to mix with all the others. Plus the dark color of the base that we did, of the paint color. But you can already start seeing that lizard skin come through on that Glad paper. How fun is this? Okay, and always remember when you add your black, we're going to add some black, that the dark colors take over quickly. So we only want to add a couple drops of black, and this is just for texture. So we're going to go there. Let's do one right there. How about here and one over here? But like I said, the one, there we go. I'm being very careful with the black because like I said, it will take over very, very quickly. And then we're going to do some rust color. You don't have to worry about filling in all these cracks. They will get filled in. Don't worry about being a solid canvas, because as we go, the ink pushes up, the ink pushes down, and it will fill in all those spots. So we're just kind of squirting this in it and around. And like I said, not worrying about any little loose white spots. So those are the four colors that I use. But again, you do not need to use those colors. It does not matter. Just use any fun browns, greens. Play with it. Again, same with the spray paint that you use. It doesn't matter what color spray paint. Just play with it. Have fun. So we are going to go right here. And we are going to take this. And you want to use your parchment paper. So I'm going to take this up. And as I roll, I'm just making sure I'm in frame for you guys, because sometimes I'm out of frame. I am not a very good photographer. This is not... Making cups is my specialty. Filming them is not. Okay. Looks like I'm in frame now. Burp. Okay. So just like with my fabric cups, you're going to have that loose edge. For now, because it's press and seal, we can take what did not have any ink on it and press it down and kind of seal it to itself. Then we're going to use our parchment paper to help us keep the roll going nice and smooth. We have gloves on so we don't get all inked up. And roll through it. Again, I think I want to pull this back just a touch more. I want to make sure the ink gets all the way in there. And like I said, you can see there's no white parts whatsoever. All that ink has blurred together and kind of made a really, really cool color underneath there. But as opposite of our crackle ink, we don't want any creases. So we want to pull those creases out and rub them out. And we don't want creases and bubbles. We want it to be nice and smooth and as flat as we can get it. And rub the bubbles out and use your gloves and rub those bubbles out. A few do look cool because it does kind of add, like I said, just keeps adding texture to the cup. But you don't want too many because then it starts looking like just the alcohol ink crackle. So keep rolling. Pull it where you need to. Pull the edges. Get it where you like it. Smooth it around with your parchment paper. I recommend the parchment paper because then your hands don't get so messy. Keep the parchment paper in place. I then tuck it down inside. And I'm going to now leave this for about 5 days. And I'm going to let that dry. I'm not going to worry about the butt because we'll do something fun with the butt. And we'll leave this for about 5 days. Let that ink dry. And then we will come back and unwrap and show you the reveal.
All right, guys, it's time for the reveal on our lizard skin. This is going to be so fun. I have my chemical respirator on, even though we are not working with epoxy, because I am doing multiple tutorials at once, and I do have epoxy in the room with me now, and so I'm keeping my respirator, even though I'm in a very well ventilated area. I'm just being overcautious and wearing my respirator, just in case. So I'm a little difficult here, I'm sorry. But we're going to go ahead and unwrap this bad boy. He should be dry. We kind of got set for about a week because it's been raining here. So he sat for an extra long time just to make sure he was dry. So he should be dry. So this is going to be our lizard skin. Let's see. Is he dry? I hope so. He appears to be. So there's where our overlap is. Just like our fabric. And here comes the lizard skin. Yes! That looks amazing. Can you guys see that? The dimpling? It's just kind of like dimpling and rough looking. It's going to look so cool under epoxy. We can do some fun stuff with the back. This is a little area where I kind of peeked up and touched when it was raining. I shouldn't have touched it. And I laid it back down hoping it would get the dimpling. If you do this and don't peek, this happened because I peeked at it and it was raining and it was still wet. But normally it would dry and you'd get this dimpling all the way around the cup. I'm open and honest. This did not come out perfect, but we can play with this here. But this is going to be a really fun cup. So let's get this. What we're going to do with it now is we're going to do gentle clear coat sprays over the top because we don't want this alcohol ink to be messed with at all. You'll see where there's areas that it didn't get down. Those are the bubbles. So when you're smoothing it out, you get it as smooth as you can. But I actually like those. It makes it look more real life and true to life. And once you see this under epoxy, it's going to be so cool. So we are going to do a very light dusting of clear coat spray paint over the top of this so that when we epoxy it, it doesn't smear. So we are going to be right back. I'm going to do about 4 coats of very, very gentle dusting lighting, and we'll be right back.
All right, guys, now we have this super rad cup with that lizard skin, chameleon, just really, really, really cool texture to it. You can see where some of the dark built up and the green and the lights with all the different colors that we used in the vibrancy, and even the parts where it didn't take the bubbles. It just really makes it look realistic. Now we do have that one spot right here that kind of was where our fold was, where I kind of peeked to see if it was dry, and it had been raining, like pouring rain here for like 5 days. And when I peeked, it was still wet. I tried to lay that back down, but apparently it didn't take back to the bubble, but it still looks really cool. And I actually think that that's where I'm going to end up ultimately now look at there's a 1 pink dot. I'm going to ultimately put my decal. So we're going to stick the decal right on there. So let's get all set up for that, and we'll be right back. Okay, on this side, we're going to put our very fun lizard. We are going to just keep him nice and simple. Again, these are always just meant to inspire you guys. You can get way more technical for my more advanced tumbler makers. I just try to inspire you guys with new ideas. Take this to another level. I would love to see it. Share it in the group. I have ideas myself on what I want to do with thermochromatic powders. It's such a cool technique to show off. But like I said, I want to keep it where our newbies can learn and our advanced can just kind of launch off from the idea of what it is. So I'm going to put my chameleon, or whatever type of lizard we're going to call this guy. I guess he's not a chameleon. He doesn't quite have that shape. But I'm going to put him in that awkward spot that's kind of barren. And just drop him down. You always know me. I roll one side at a time. So I'm going to go left. I'm going to push down on... Sorry, I'm going to go right. Then I'm going to push down left. And I'm going to use my squeegee to make sure he's pressed down real good. I actually used his leg to cover up that one little piece of fuchsia colored glitter that got in there. Peel this up, and there you go. So you can't even tell that that was a spot that didn't have any detail right now. And then we're going to put on the words. So let's go ahead and grab those. Okay, what we're going to put on here is "Now You See Me." Right here along the front, I'm going to put it in black. I think I'm going to go right over the chameleon, because if I go up too high, the dark words aren't going to be really visible across that dark. So I think I'm going to lay it right across the chameleon. So you can see our tape is kind of curling. That's because we're reusing the tape. I'm kind of a use it till it dies kind of girl. Conserve, conserve, conserve. So we're going to put this one right here. "Now You See Me." Super cute right there. And there's the "Now You." Now we're going to put the "See Me" part. All right. And we'll line him up right there. Perfect. We're just going to rub that down. Make sure it has good contact. So fun. All right, bring that up for you guys to see. So it says "Now You See Me" on one side. There's just a little tiny air pocket. Let's push that guy out of there. I'll get him. All right, now we're going to place the little tiny hands, kind of putting them just as they are on the other side of the cup. There's one. There's two. And we're just going to mimic the opposite side. Check a look. Okay, we've got one that kind of points down. And then one that kind of points up. So I'm just using stir sticks to kind of hold this cup in place. We've only got one coating of epoxy on it. So yes, it has a few little, you can see a little, maybe where a little fuzzy landed on it. I did not cover this overnight. So we're going to stick this one right here. And now is when we get to have the fun part. Now is when we get to play. Okay, so we've got the little feet on there. And now we're going to play. We're going to add the next part of the decal to this side. So the first side says, now you see me. And now this side is going to say, now you don't. Just a little play on it being a chameleon. Hiding in. You can see his little feet, but not the body. Sorry, you guys can hear some of the farm work being done, and it sounds like my husband is playing with my cat. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so stinking cute. I'm pretty sure that the minute I get this one finished, it's going to get stolen. So we have the now you see me, turn it over, now you don't, and all you see is little footprints. This is going to be a really, really, really fun one. But like you said, like you can see the drag and the details of that skin because of that cling wrap, the press and seal, leaves that perfect texture for just like a lizard skin. All right, guys, what I'll actually end up doing with this one is taking it out, clear spraying it with clear matte finish spray paint so that the epoxy has no problem grabbing onto this big surface of this vinyl, and we will get it under epoxy. Okay, so I realized I forgot to tell you guys about a step that I did. So after I peeled off the cling wrap, the press and seal, I clear matte spray painted it. And then I did a thin layer of epoxy. So I forgot to film that for you guys. If you saw a little sneak peek on TikTok, I do TikTok. I actually duetted a chameleon that paints while I was epoxying this cup. And that footage, I tried to pull the footage off TikTok, and I don't know how. I'm not that good. So that is what the steps was. So we did the press and seal over the alcohol inks. Then we took it out. Then we did clear spray paint, matte finish spray paint. Then we did a layer of epoxy. Then I applied these decals. Then I clear coat matte spray paint finished. And now we're going to go ahead and epoxy it in. All right, so I'm just laughing because I told my team, I said I'm making a manly cup because my husband asked me for a 20 ounce because I made him a big football themed 30 ounce. And I said, I'm making this manly cup for him, but it's probably the most adorable manly cup I've ever made. I might end up stealing this from him because I love lizards, guys. I'm a monitor girl. I've wanted to monitor lizards since I was a kid. If my husband would let me have one now, I would have one now in a big cage on our property. I don't even know if you're allowed to own them. I would have lots of snakes. He doesn't even like spiders, so I'm like the manly one in the relationship when it comes to like killing spiders and stuff like that. But so I like love this cup. I think it's so stinking cute. Like I said, I might even make myself this. I am going to give him this one because he did see it and he wants it. But I might make myself a pairing one, a matching one, and make it like blacks and pinks and make it a little bit more girly for me. But the same idea, and do some thermochromatic powder with it and actually have the lizard disappear when my hot tea goes in. I don't know. So many different ideas. Because we do have the thermochromatic powder on our website, guys, if you're looking for it. So we're just putting on, we mixed part A and B. This is fluid pouring art resin. LittleLee and Rose has our own brand. You can also find underneath this link, we'll have a link to a couple different brands that we know and like that we use. You want to make sure, no matter what, you always want to make sure whether it's our brand or another brand that is FDA compliant, because somebody may be putting their mouth against the edge of the cup, and you don't want them getting any kind of poisoning or sickness from coming in contact with that epoxy. So So you want to make sure that it is, whatever you are coating your cups in is epoxy, even if it's not epoxy, whatever you're coating your cups in is FDA compliant. That is very important. There's a lot of words floating around now in the industry of eco-friendly or whatever for different coatings. But I'm not taking my chances. I get all my coatings tested for FDA compliance. All right, so we have a little epoxy left over. I'm going to jump out and do a fun little mold, maybe something that'll match this guy. Let's pop some bubbles first, though. I'm going to use my torch. And we're going to pop. We're just going after the micro bubbles. Stuff you can't even really see, but stuff that is there. Oh, I'm not wearing my chemical mask. You guys, warn me.
Okay. Whew. Caught myself. Okay, because I am in my open air ventilated area. So I'm not too worried about the first stage, but once you start heating this up to pop these micro bubbles, it gets a little fumy. So that's what made me suddenly realize I need to have my chemical mask on. Glad I remembered. So I am now wearing a chemical respirator. That is why you cannot hear me. So we are popping these tiny little minuscule bubbles that you can't really see on camera, but I can see them here in person. They definitely add imperfections to the cup. I see a lot of misinformation out there on how can you pop bubbles without using a torch. And I see people saying using alcohol and using heat guns, but that is misinformation. Too much alcohol will actually dilute your epoxy and make it not pure. And a heat gun does not actually pop the bubbles. It just kind of moves the epoxy around and some might pop it. The reason this works is because the CO2 of the flame is actually drawing that microbubble to the surface because it's oxygen inside that little bubble. So it's actually attracting it to the surface, and that is how it's popping those microbubbles. It's not popping them by the heat. It's actually popping it because of the CO2, the carbon dioxide. So I kind of babysit my cups. I'll check on this cup in about an hour to see if any new microbubbles have formed or anything has formed that I need to take care of. Like I said, I just kind of babysit them. I also have, if you follow me on social media, you'll see that I put big Rubbermaid containers, like storage containers over the top, and especially in pollen season, because I don't want any dust or debris getting on it, because that will show imperfections on the surface. I'm laughing because in my workshop, you can't get away from glitter, and I can see like little tiny specks here and there. My husband's pretty easygoing about that stuff, but I'm laughing because his cup is going to have a few little specks of glitter. See, there's a couple right there, just tiny little bits. It's just kind of everywhere in here. I work with so much, there's no avoiding it. All right, guys, so this one's going to turn overnight, and we'll see how it comes out tomorrow. See you guys soon.